Hello everyone. Thank you for welcoming me here tonight at our Red Hook Town Board meeting. My name is Nikki Lewis and I am here today to share with you all the importance of the environmental factors that are shaping decisions about the power plant that is coming to our Hudson Valley region. I'll begin by grounding us in the geography of the region where this proposal is occurring. The Hudson Valley encompasses the Hudson River Valley and adjacent communities. It is comprised of 11 counties that are separated into the upper, middle, and lower regions. In the south, we are bordered by New York City, and in the north by the capital region of Albany. The Hudson Valley is just over 7,000 square miles and is known for the natural beauty of the Shawangunk and Catskill Mountains, our Hudson Highlands, rolling hills, farmland, and rivers. As is true in every community across the globe, our region has been and will continue to be significantly impacted by climate change. In order to better understand this, I want to ensure that we have a common understanding of a few key terms that I will be using throughout this presentation. The first is weather. Weather refers to local atmospheric conditions that occur in our area over a short period of time. Examples of weather include rain, clouds, winds, floods, thunderstorms, or snow. Climate, on the other hand, is a term that is used to describe long-term regional or global average temperature, humidity, and rainfall patterns that occur over seasons, years, or decades. Climate change, thus, is the long-term change in average weather patterns of local, regional, and global climates. Another term that many of us may be familiar with is global warming, which refers to the rising average global temperatures caused by human activities, which increase the greenhouse gas levels in the atmosphere. While climate change and global warming are related, they are distinctly different terms, and it's important that we are all aware of that. Both climate change and global warming are the result of increases in carbon dioxide in our atmosphere as a result of human activities, such as burning fossil fuels and modifying land use for forestry and agriculture. As we saw on the last slide, climate change is the long-term change in average weather patterns and has a broad range of effects which include melting ice caps, wildfires, vegetation cover change, heat waves, drought, rising land and ocean temperatures across the globe, and unfortunately many more. Global warming, which is the heating of the Earth's surface, has been observed since the 1800s and is one of the indicators of climate change. So why specifically is climate change occurring? Climate change is the result of both natural mechanisms and human-caused or anthropogenic mechanisms. Natural mechanisms, such as changes in the radiation from the sun or solar irradiance, affects the ozone layer of the atmosphere, which is what protects us from harmful radiation, by absorbing some of this and then radiating some of it back into space. Another example is the Milankovitch cycles, which explain that Earth's position relative to the sun is a strong driver of Earth's long-term climate based on eccentricity, obliquity, and precession. Drivers of climate change that are caused by humans include land use changes, which have been documented since the pre-industrial era, including deforestation, afforestation, and also the impact of carbon emissions and albedo, or the ability of Earth's surface to reflect sunlight. Greenhouse gas emissions also drive climate change by trapping heat in Earth's atmosphere and causing land and ocean temperatures to continue rising due to activities such as the burning of fossil fuels. Now, with all of this in mind, let's take a look at past climate in the Hudson Valley. As a result of rising temperatures that lead to more evaporation and precipitation, major rainfall events in the Hudson Valley increased by 74% in the time period of 1980 through 2009 compared to the time period of 1950 through 1979. Climate change has also resulted in melting ice sheets and glaciers, as well as the expansion of seawater through rising ocean temperatures, which has caused the sea level to rise by more than 12 inches since the year 1900. Further, sea levels are expected to rise another 18 to 75 inches by the year 2100. This graph displays trends in climate change over more than 100 years based on climate data that was available from a location in the Hudson Valley, Port Jervis, New York. This data shows that the average temperature each year has steadily increased over time. In 1922, the average annual temperature was about 9 degrees Celsius or 48 degrees Fahrenheit. This increased to an average of 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit in the year 2022. If this trend continues on at the same rate, then in the next 100 years, we can expect the average annual temperature to reach 11 degrees Celsius or 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Although this may not seem like an extreme difference for us, it can make a significant difference in sea levels rising, the crops that we can grow, extreme weather we experience, as well as a minimum of 650 additional premature deaths each year from extreme heat, increased rainfall intensity resulting in monthly precipitation of 1 inch greater for the months of December through April, and worsened air quality due to increasing emissions and from wildfires caused by climate change. So what this means specifically for our area is that the estimated sea level rise of between 2 and 4.5 feet by the year 2100 will have the potential to displace residents, wildlife, impact local businesses, especially those on the waterfront, and even flood the rail line for freight trains and Amtrak passengers. The shift in seasons as a result of increasing global temperatures will impact ecosystems, forest productivity, agricultural land use, and resource-based industries. The species that will be most vulnerable to this include conifers like spruce and fir trees, which provide important habitat, freshwater mussels, amphibians, cold water fish such as trout, and the habitat of dragonflies and damselflies, which are strong indicators of ecosystem health. From a socioeconomic standpoint, the impacts of climate change, including rising temperatures, extreme climate events, changing seasonality, and increased precipitation, will disrupt agricultural productivity. This is significant for Hudson Valley residents because New York farms generated $5.7 billion in gross income in 2017, and 12% of New York State agricultural sales are from farms in the Hudson Valley. Additionally, climate change puts our seasonal and outdoor economies at risk, which bring millions of people to the Hudson Valley every year. In fact, even in 2020, in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, tourism in the Hudson Valley contributed over $2.2 billion to the region's economy. With all of this in mind, what can we as a community and a state do to address climate change? 2 possible solutions that I recommend are, first at the community level, integrating agroforestry into land management practices, and then at the state level, developing a state wetland program plan to protect wetlands in New York State. Agroforestry is a strategy in which farmers intentionally mix trees and shrubs into crop and animal production systems. 2 options would specifically be alley cropping, in which trees or shrubs are planted in sets of rows with crops. The benefits of this practice are higher value and longer-term crops, improved soil quality, and enhanced habitat for wildlife. Another practice is silvopasture, in which trees are combined with pasture and livestock production to produce diversification of livestock and plant products, reduce nutrient loss, and improve livestock health and productivity. In general, agroforestry practices sequester carbon in soil and biomass. They reduce greenhouse gas emissions by reducing the use of field equipment and enhance energy conservation around buildings on the farm. For the second strategy, wetlands in our region, including the Hudson River estuary and tidal wetlands, have an important role in our region as a sink for greenhouse gases, meaning carbon stored in these areas, instead of being released into the atmosphere, where it would contribute to climate change. However, wetland conditions can be severely impacted by climate change, such as through temperature increases and increased precipitation. These changes can result in the loss of that carbon that is stored in the soil and can also affect plant and animal communities that rely on those areas for habitat, among other impacts. Currently, New York State does not have a state wetland program plan. State wetland program plans are collaborative, voluntary, strategic plans that are created and implemented by state agencies that establish goals that will be achieved through broad-based actions over a period of approximately 3 to 6 years in order to protect and restore these critical ecosystems. On a smaller scale, there are steps we can all take to address climate change. For example, when it comes to our food consumption, choosing food options from the farmers, some of which are sitting right here in this room, is a great place to start. We are fortunate to have a number of farmers markets in the area, including 9 that are year-round, such as the Hudson Valley Farmers Market right here at Gregg Farms, which is held even 7 days a week. Additionally, many of our grocery stores have a section for locally sourced options and ingredients. Choosing organic and local foods that are in season helps reduce the transportation that would be required to deliver foods to us by plane, train, or truck from around the world, all of which emit fossil fuels for the fuel of these transportation modalities and in order to keep the food stored at a cool temperature so that they stay as fresh as possible. As residents, we can also take steps to source our electricity through a certified renewable energy provider, such as Ambit Energy, which provides solar power to our area. Solar power converts the energy from sunlight into electrical charges that can be used in our home without the use of fossil fuels, which substantially reduces greenhouse gas emissions that contribute to climate change, as well as other air pollutants. Thank you all again for welcoming me here tonight. Please feel free to ask any questions you may have now, or feel free to contact me via email or phone. Thank you.